Hey guys, this is Josh from The Rock. I'm with Clay, who's one of our pastors as well. And man, I'm so thankful that you've decided to join in with us on this Made for More initiative. You know, really spent a lot of time this weekend launching it and talking about how we wanted you to engage fully. And one way to engage was by taking this course and looking at these videos and spending some time talking about them with some teammates or other people in your life. So man, I'm just so thankful for that. But I want to go ahead and dig into what we call week one of Made for More. And with week one, let me just ask you this, Clay. What's one thing in life that you'd like to have more of?
Well, if we're being completely honest.
Well, I'd like for you to be completely honest.
It's springtime, which means there's two things. One, I want more Reese's eggs in my life. Because the Reese's eggs are absolutely way better than the regular Reese's. Like, I don't know what
Time out.
what kind
I
of
might
magic
need to
they
find
put-
somebody else to record here, dude.
They're so much better. It's not even any holiday Reese's is way better. Which leads me to my second.
Well, do you put the holiday Reese's in the fridge, or you eat them regular?
Either one.
All right, see, we are wrong on this. I could have an elders meeting about this because the little Reese's that you put in the refrigerators, that's the true Reese's cup.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. I'm cutting you off.
The second thing. This goes along with the Reese's egg.
Oh, of course it does.
It's springtime. I need a little bit more time. Summer bod 2020. Time is running out. It is running out, my friend.
Hey, Summer Bod 2020. If you're dealing with the Reese's eggs, you can have Summer Bod 2020.
Problem is, I've been working on Summer bod 2020 since about 2K14, and I've gotten nowhere with it.
Okay, so you
Need more time.
So, but the question is, what do you want? Oh, you want more time, not more body. Because I thought you were saying you want more
I got
body.
plenty of body.
Good point. So, you know, I started thinking about it just from some food as well. It made me think about things that we always want more of. Because it seems like insatiable, like we can never get enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like let's say you're sitting down at a party and you eat a piece of popcorn and a peanut. Which one do you want more of? Which one can you not resist going after?
I tell you what, because is it caramel popcorn or just regular popcorn? If
I hadn't thought through it that much. It just came to my mind.
This is why this body looks like this. I'm choosing the peanut because if it's just regular popcorn, there's nothing drawing me to it.
Okay.
But if it's the caramel popcorn, it's going down the hatch.
You know, and peanut you can almost pretend like it's healthy. Yeah. It's a nut, right? So,
Healthy fats.
All right, real quick round. You want more of sausage or bacon?
Bacon all day. Unless it's the patty.
Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream. Cake's trash.
Oreos or chocolate chip?
Oreos. Come on. Dunkaroos.
Okay, good enough. Again, body 2020. Right, here you go.
Getting ashamed here.
Seriously though, we are people who are constantly wanting more.
Yeah.
More time, more money, more. Why do you think that is? Why is it that we constantly seem to be going after more?
I think there just feels like there's a lot of gaps in our life. Like, if you look at everything that happens to us, there's a lot of times our response is to find a way to fill that gap. So if we feel like we're kind of like low on being loved, we go search for a relationship. If we are, especially for dudes, if like dudes are like really angry, it's like, let me go work out, let me build this bod, right? Like, let me go work out. Some people do like shopping to fill this gap. So it's something where it's like we always want more because we feel like we're missing something. Whether that is a relationship, whether that's a job, whether that's a moment, it's money, whatever it is, we feel like we're missing out on something. So we end up wanting more of something.
Exactly.
And we just chase after that thing, and a lot of times we don't know what that thing is. So we try to use all these different areas of life to fill these gaps. And it's unsuccessful, but we think if I just do this, then I'll feel better. If I just do that, then I'll feel better. And it doesn't necessarily work.
It doesn't work. It's that God-shaped hole that I talked about in the message that we constantly try to fill it with other things, but if we're not filling it with God, then it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
That we're going to constantly be empty. And you know, as I shared with y'all yesterday, that I want you to recognize that you're made for more. I want you to go after more. I want to go after more. I want you to go after more. But I want us to go after more in the right way, in the right mindset. And the way to do that is going after more of Jesus. Because the reality is, with this whole initiative, it comes down to Jesus is the more. You know, as I talked about with Ephesians chapter 1, it talks about that he wants to fill us completely, all things everywhere. So he wants to be the more in our life, and he wants to fill every nook and cranny. He wants to fill every aspect of our life, not just in us, but then also in our community. So let me ask you this. What excites you about that? When you hear that we've got thousands of people that are hearing that Jesus wants more of them, and potentially thousands of people saying, I'm going to take a step and let Jesus be more in me and more in my community. What excites you about that and about our communities and about this initiative?
Well, I think for me, I believe we live in a culture that lacks self-confidence, and we constantly think bad about ourselves, and we constantly think we're not special, we can't do anything, that we're just kind of skating through life, and we don't feel like we have the opportunity to do much. But one of my favorite things about ministry is seeing people realize they're made for more, or realize that they can do so much more than they could ever think that they could do, right? Like there is a potential in every single person that can be unlocked by following God and recognizing that you are made for more. And we see that in ministry. We see that through people taking leadership steps or taking next steps of some sort in their faith. And it's just, that excites me because there is something in us that we don't see. And it's, I hope in my prayer for this series and this initiative is that people realize there's a whole lot more in us than we think there is. And it's not because of what we provide, it's not because of anything we do, but it's because of what God does through us. Like there's an immense opportunity for each and every single person that's watching this, that's a part of the initiative, for every person on this earth to be more than they realize. And I think that's huge for people to realize, because we do live in a culture that is the opposite thing. We feel we're a culture that's empowered, that people are saying you can make a difference, but we don't feel like we can make a difference. And it creates a struggle inside of us. And we don't feel like we can make a difference because we don't recognize that it's God making a difference through us.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like when we recognize that it is God making a difference in us and through us, that's when we can truly do that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's when the communities get changed. And that's where I brought up in the message this idea of this kingdom calling, this idea of if I'm called into ministry, that doesn't mean full-time ministry. It means every day, wherever I'm at doing ministry, I'm called to do kingdom work. That I look at this idea, if we all recognize we have this fresh conversation with God about our kingdom calling, then it means wherever I'm at today, whether it's in a coffee bar, whether it's at school, whether it's at a university, whether it's in a cubicle, wherever it might be, that, man, he's got a calling for me right there. So, man, we hit that a lot. And then there's also this idea of kingdom generosity, Talk to us a little bit just about kingdom generosity, a little bit about what you heard and just your thoughts on having a fresh conversation with God about kingdom generosity.
We are innately selfish people, and we serve a very generous God.
Well, that's a great way to say that. Selfish people who serve a generous God.
And our goal for life is to be as much like God as we possibly can, right? We'll never get there, right? We're going to make mistakes. We're going to screw up. But we can emulate God in every way. And if God can be so generous to us, to give us the life that we have, to give us the finances we have, give us the opportunity to follow Him like He does, and we need to emulate that too. We need to say, you know what, God, I see what You've done for me. Now I want to go and help do that too. I'm going to do that for You and for others, and make a difference in other people's lives. And we're going to see that. Like when people say, you know what, I am going to be generous because I'm recognizing God's generosity in my life, it's going to make a huge difference, not just in other people, but in your walk with God as well.
Which is only going to help you walk out that kingdom calling even more.
Right.
Yeah. Very good. Well, guys, man, it's been good. Clay, thank you for the conversation. And, man, I hope it's been beneficial for you guys. I want to wrap up by just sharing again what I shared this weekend. That there's 3 ways I really want to challenge you to respond. And the first one is to engage fully. And just by participating in this video, that tells me you've taken a step of engagement. And I'm so thankful for that. But don't leave it with just the video. make sure you have conversations. Make sure you have conversations with people that you serve on a team with, or people you attend a small group with, or people that you share a house with. Continue that conversation. Let's engage fully. And again, let me give you a challenge. Every week from now through Easter, make sure you're at church. Don't miss a weekend. Engage fully in what we're doing right now. Secondly, I really want to encourage you to pray boldly. And remember that pray boldly means this. It means to speak with God and say, God, I want to have a fresh conversation with you about my kingdom calling and my kingdom generosity. The kingdom calling is how he wants to use you, how he wants to do more in you and through you than you can possibly ask or imagine. The kingdom generosity is when we're generous to God, he's going to do more in you and through you than you can possibly ask or imagine. So I want to challenge you to already, based on the discussions we've been having, I want you to already be thinking about, God, how can I give generously to you and live generously for you? And then the last part of that is the third way I want to encourage you to respond is to give generously. As we work through this initiative, as we come towards the end of it, then there's going to be a day that we're really going to be challenging everyone in our church to give generously to the work that the Lord is doing. So I want to just continue to challenge you that way, to engage fully, pray boldly, and then give generously. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up this video by kicking it to one of our testimony videos, because I want you to hear from another person at our church who is understanding what it means to be made for more. We'll see you later.
I'm Shelby Tanner, and I'm a mom of 3, kindergarten school teacher, pastor's wife.
My name's Timmy. Obviously, I'm one of the pastors on staff here at The Rock, and I am the 4th child in my house.
We've been at The Rock 6 years. This is 6.
Yeah, so
6 years this year.
It would have been August of 2014.
Mm-hmm. Probably what kept us coming was how vastly different it was for where we had been before, and it was something new. We were starting a new chapter in a new town, and it just felt like a place where we could get started serving and fit in, and not have to know anybody per se, and we were able to jump in right away.
I would say I've seen God working in many different ways, but just in particular in our community, I've not only seen us grow numerically, but just even where we're going as far as our discipleship and spirituality as a church. There's a push and a need for us to get deeper into God's Word, to understand God's Word better, so that we can actually live on mission with Him. And then just personally, just being challenged, of putting feet to what I say I believe, to look at people and say, yes, you do deserve forgiveness, you do deserve grace, just as much as I do.
I would say that being made for more would maybe be like our vocation doesn't have to define us, our household doesn't have to define us, but that Jesus defines us, and He has taken me places that I never thought I would be, and my family looks different than I thought it would look 6-7 years ago, and it is something that I would not have changed. Like I would not go back and change anything. In the moment, I probably would have been like, what in the world are you doing to us? But just the being able to do something different than what I guess society and culture put around you as what you should do.
Being made for more for me is I'm not defined by anybody but Christ, and that I am a child of His, and that I can do vast things beyond my own strength, my own ability, my own knowledge. I'm a poor country boy that God can use me, and doesn't matter my education level, my economics. It is that God can use me to change the world, and I just have to be open to that and allow Him to use me. And I know I'm not where I was 10 years ago in my walk with Christ, But I know in 10 years, I pray that I'm not where I'm at today.
I think as a biracial family, I'm excited for how diverse we are as a church. The fact that I don't have to worry about my daughter having influences that are not just one race or one culture or one society. There's so many different people here, and people that are willing to pour into us as a family, but also willing to pour into other people. And so just seeing the church look more and more like heaven, I'm excited for that.
Wow, if I think about the future of the Rock, I can't help but think of, looking at a globe and like, okay, Lord, where do you want to go? Whether it's the Caribbean or the Dominican, who we've already partnered with, is it churches in the Midwest? Is it churches in England? Wherever, I think about a globe and go, we are not defined by a border. And I'm excited, and I wish I could put on a map about here's where I think the Rock's going, but understanding the Rock's made for more as well, and we can go. We are willing to go wherever God calls us to go.